Hello guys, let us move to our last topic, that is data mining and text mining. So what is we'll discuss line by line what is the data mining and what is text mining. Before that, the one disclaimer is that in data mining is a huge concept and text mining is a huge concept. So in this video we'll be only going to introduce what is data mining and what is text mining, because we can't deal much more into that. I will also make a videos on data, what is data mining and text mining later. So in this video we'll be only seeing the only the introduction of data mining as well as the text mining. So what is data mining? Data mining is nothing but gathering the data from the data warehouses and getting insights from the data. That is what is the or what is the or it is nothing but the doing analysis on the data which is collected from the data warehouses. So let me start from the basics. So what is the data? So data is nothing but the collection of raw or unorganized facts that need to be processed. So it is nothing but what is data? Data is an unorganized or raw data. What is data? Data, it is a collection of raw, comma, unorganized, nice facts that need to be processed. Processed. So that is known as data. What is information? Information is nothing but the process data. So data will be taking and will be getting the data and will be process the data. For example, if you take x, so will be assigning x is equal to 5 and we'll be printing that. So we have taken the data and then we have processed into the result to get the 5 value. So that is called information. So what is information? So what are the examples of data? Examples of data can be anything that is raw. uh, that is anything. Example: numbers, images, text, or files, etc. There are many examples of raw data. You can take fruits, anything. So what is information? Information is nothing but the process data. So we will be so we have to do anything on the anything analysis, any analysis or any processing on the numbers, images, text, file, etc. For example, if you take the images for imaging compression or image enlargement or image cropping, so this is what is called information. So we'll be taking all those things, all the raw material, and we'll be trying to get some insights from that. So that is called as information. Information is nothing but processed processed data. Example: if you take date of birth, if you have a date of birth, you can calculate the age, right? So if you take student marks, you can calculate the if you take the student marks of the entire class, you can calculate the class average. So that is what we'll be doing. So we'll be taking only some part of raw data and we'll be deriving the some insights. We'll be analyzing what is good and what is bad, what is the altitude, what is the altitude, etc. So examples here, you can go with the examples of date of birth to get the student age or student marks, all students marks, to calculate class average. These are some of the examples of the information. So what is mining? Generally, mining is nothing but getting minerals from the mines. So like gold mining, etc. So we are what we are mostly dealing about the minerals from the mines. So what are the minerals? Minerals are nothing but the useful part from the mines, where we'll be doing much more research on those minings. So that is what we'll be doing. So what in data mining, we'll be gathering the data from the warehouses, and we'll be trying to find the patterns, and then from the patterns we'll be trying to expand the patterns to make a insight. So that is what is known as data mining. So let me write the definition of data mining. So data mining, my NING. So data mining is nothing but it is the process of discovering patterns in large data set, mostly collected from Mostly data is collected from warehouses, data warehouses. So that is what is called data mining. So we'll be trying to gather the data initially, then we'll be trying to clean the data, then we'll be trying to filter the data sets which we are required, then we'll be trying to find the patterns, and then we'll be finding to predict an optimal solution. So that is what it is called. Or you can also have another definition of data mining, and that is the practice of examining large pre-existing databases in order to generate new information. So that is what is called data mining. Information. So you might have a question. So what is the use of data mining? So actually we are living in a 21st century where data is the most privileged one in the world. So what is the use of this data mining? So we are daily increasing tons of data. So the most information data, that is for example to predict a weathercast, or to find the climatic changes, or to find the health ratio, or the different types of cancers and all those, will be predicting based upon the previous analysis. That is for example previous analysis. If the previous analysis is not present in the databases, then wherefore we will be finding the predictive analysis. So that is the reason why we are using data mining. So data mining is mostly used for to uh, to to do more research, to do more research oriented, and data will be in rich enough to provide us the information. And because data is enormous, so from that enormous data we'll be trying to fetch the data which is very useful for us for our analysis. For example, if you have a data of 10,000 rows in 10,000 data sets, so mostly you will be filtering out only to around 100 or 120 data sets, and you will be trying to predict on those data sets. That is what is called data mining. So we'll be not taking the entire one, but we'll be taking only few types of rows and columns. So hope you understand why we are using data mining. So data mining is we are using data mining because data rich in information. Data is rich in information, because if we don't have the proper data, we'll be not able to process it. So now, because what data is huge or enormous. So from those data we should gather the most relevant and most relevant information. So that is why we are using data mining. So what is the so let me give you a page. So what are the basic steps? To get the data, as well as to process data, and to select and transform the data, and what is data mining, on all this will be drawing it in a flowchart. In exam, this flowchart is must and should draw this flowchart. So that is known as knowledge discovery process. So from where we are getting those data, knowledge discovery process. So initially we will be not having the data, so we'll be collecting the data from the databases or from the warehouses. Then later after collecting the data sets of for example take 10,000 rows. So from 10,000 rows we have taken the data sets of 10,000 rows now. So keep it aside. So we have a data of 10,000 rows, data set on student marks. So consider this as the student marks data from 2008 to present 2021. So this is from the RGKT marks data. So now we have to take this information to predict the future student marks. So how much they are able to score in the exams. So this is the 10,000 rows. So we are using these 10,000 rows? No, we'll be not using the 10,000. For example, if this entire data set consists of 120 columns, 120 columns and 10,000 rows. We'll be not using this 120 columns. For example, we don't require their student name because we have ID number. So we don't require their age because we have date of birth. Because we don't require their year of passing because we'll be having their ID number S16 or S18 or S167 or N100. So these are the numbers where we can split into, and we can find the year he has joined the educator or not. So this is what we'll be doing. So we'll be not considering the entire data set. So we'll be taking some of the data sets and we'll be trying to expand it. So now what will be happening in data cleaning? So in data cleaning process, we'll be finding the null values. If there are null values, we'll be replacing with the mean, or we will be placing 0. So there are different parameters where to replace the null values. So don't worry, I will explain it in my machine learning videos. So then later we have to, after cleaning the entire data set, so we will be getting around we'll be taking around 50 columns and of 5,000 rows. 5,000 rows, you think so? After we have pre-processed the data. So after the pre-processing, we got 50 columns and 5,000 rows. So now we have to make a prediction on those. So we have to build the model. So first we have to make the data mining. What is data mining? So we have to gather the useful data. For example, we are calculating the student marks, right? So mostly student marks, that means we have to take every batch average. So that batch average has to be collected using the data mining step. So data mining will be used to collect the batch results. Batch average marks. Batch average marks. So batch average marks will be collected based upon the data mining process. So after data mining, what we have to do, should build a model. So we should build a model, and after the model building, we have to model building process, we have to find the patterns. So how they are able to score. So what is the scale, what is the graph in when they join the PUC, and what is the graph when they join the engineering or engineering second year, third year, and what is the total or overall CGPA after leaving the RGKT. This is before RGKT and this is after RGKT. So we have to make a overall total calculations of his CGPA. So that is what our main requirement. So before PUC and BTech. So we have to make each and every model requirements, and we have to find the patterns. Then after model building, we have to make the predictive analysis. So in predictive analysis, we will be giving the inputs randomly to the model, so that the model will be giving us the entire score of his undergraduation plus graduation, overall CGPA. So that is what we will be doing in a knowledge discovery process. So hope you understand what is knowledge discovery process and what are the steps required. Now let me draw the flowchart clearly. So I think you understand this flowchart, right? So we have moved like this, so don't worry. So the knowledge discovery process starts from the databases or the warehouses. Let us consider databases here. So we'll be gathering data from the databases. Then next, what we have to do, we have gathered the data sets. Then we have to pre-process the data set. So then we have to pre-process. Pre-processing, or it also known as data cleaning. So what we'll be doing in data cleaning, we'll be removing all the null values, or we will be replacing null values with zeros or the mean, etc. based on the user requirement. That is the professionals, that is ML engineers over there who are working on the type of datasets. It's their choice to fill the null values, or they have to remove the null values. It depends. So after the pre-processing, what we have done, so we went to the data selection. So we went to the data selection from 120 columns to 120 columns and 1000 rows. We went to 50 columns and 5000 rows. So then we have what we have done. So we have data transformation as well as the data selection. So we have selected only some part of the data to analyze to do the analysis. So data, we have selected the data selection, and we have transformation. So we have done these steps. So after that data selection and transformation, what we have done, so we have done data mining. So what we have done in data mining in student marks list, so we have done batch wise average. We have find the batch wise average marks. So from batch wise average marks, then we have milled the model. So that is what we have to do. Then after selecting the selecting the columns which are required to do pre-processing. Then we have to move to the data mining. In data mining we will be doing the batch wise averages. So then later we went to the data mining step. So after the data mining, what we have find the patterns. We have, after finding the patterns, we have built a model such that if they give any user, if they give any student information, so we will be trying to find the, we'll be trying to predict that this much amount of CGPA he will be able to get after this after the completion of graduation. So that is what we have done. So after data mining, we have find the patterns. So from patterns, they can evaluate and presentation. They can done evaluation and presentation. So this is the flowchart of the knowledge based discovery process in data mining. So this can be done, this is the same pattern we'll be following in machine learning. So we'll be collecting the data sets, then we'll be cleaning, then we'll be selecting the feature transformation, then a scalar transformation, all those things will be come under this. Then we'll be doing data mining, then we'll be finding the patterns, and then we'll be building model. After the model building, so we'll be predicting. So after the predicting, there is a deployment stage. So this is the final architecture of the knowledge based process. So hope you understand what hope you understand clearly. So now let us move to the another one. So now let us discuss about the data mining techniques. So data mining techniques or the machine learning techniques are the same. So all the organisms are the same. They're like clustering, classification, anomaly detection, regression, summarization. All those comes in the machine learning also. Just I will explain it in briefly. That I will give you only the definitions. Then I will explain it. That's why. So first one is the association learning rule. So what we'll be doing in association learning is that we'll be search for the relations between the variables. So we'll be finding the correlation between them. So how much one parameter is affecting the other parameter, that we'll be finding in association learning rule. Association rule learning. What we'll be doing in association rule learning, we'll be searches for relationship between variables. For example, if you search laptop, if you search as a laptop in Google, what Google also show the HP, Dell, Lenovo laptops. Why it is happening? Because this is happening because of the relations between the companies, relation between the laptop, because relation between the specifications you have searched for. For example, if you search for 1 TB storage laptop, it will also show the Dell or Lenovo or HP laptops, because HP and this type of laptops will also support 1 TB, right? 1 TB, 4 GB or 8 GB RAMs. So that is why it is now known as association rule learning. Example, the projects you frequently buy, projects the projects or the gadgets, anything that comes under this gadgets, etc. So next data mining techniques is clustering. So I have already explained what is clustering. Clustering is nothing but the getting all the what we say, all the interested people or interested specification into a different one set of community. So it is also called as, it is a task of discovering groups. So we have to discover each and every group which are the similar thoughts and ideas or the interest in different groups and structures in the data that are in the some way or another similar, without using no structure in the data. So that is what is clustering. So we'll be getting for example, if you're in a class, so you are boy or you are a girl, so we'll be dividing the rows into the this type of specification. For example, girls should be sitting on the right side to the boys, or boys should be lifting to the girls left side of the girls. So that is what we'll be doing it in a clustering manner. Clustering, we'll be doing it in a anyway. So for example, if you want to have a census data, so where they will be calculating the age of kids from 0 to 5. For adults it is from 13 to 18. Sorry, it is teenage from 13 to 18, and from adults it is 18 to so on. So this is what after citizens of India 60 plus. So this is how they calculate. So that is known as clustering. So getting the similar and many people into one structure. So what is clustering? Clustering, it is the task of discovering groups and structures in the data that are in some way or another similar. They will be grouping all the similar thoughts, similar interests, similar ideas, people into one together community. That is known as clustering. So for example, if you take vegetables, for example, if you want to cluster it, when you go into a supermarket, in supermarket is the best example for clustering. Every project will be in its own place in its type of, for example, if you want to go for chocolates, we will be going for chocolate sections. If you want to go for any dress material, we'll be going into the first floor or second floor dress material sections. So this is what it is. Clustering is one of the best example for, shopping mall is one of the best example for clustering. Clustering is nothing but it is an unsupervised learning where we will be dealing with unlabeled data sets. So it is unsupervised learning. So to know about clustering, classification, regression, all those, I will make videos on them. So don't worry, you can watch them in my machine learning videos in depth. So after the clustering, so let us move to the classification. So what is classification? Classification is generally is nothing but the what we'll call generalizing is known as the classification. So we have to classify each and everything. For example, this is a pen, or this is a pencil, or this is a calculator. So we have to generalize it. So we have to generalize each and everything. That is known as classification. So what is classification? It is the task of generalizing known structure to apply the new data. For example, consider the toys. You can classify, if for example this is a pen, so how did you classify this as a pen and this as a pencil? Based on the characterization or the projects they have used. So this is a plastic with a nib, so this is a pen with a, this is a pencil with a graphite on with a what wooden labeled with white and black color. So based on these characteristics and specification, we are trying to classify that it is a pen and it is a pencil. So it comes under the, so what you are doing, we are finding the insights based upon the labels it has. For example, this is a plastic, this is a pen nib, and this is a pencil which is a wood, which is a graphite lid. So that is what we will be doing. So we are working on a labeled data sets. So working on a label set, that this is nothing but the supervised learning. So it classification is comes under, so it is a supervised learning. So let us come to the anomaly detection, the next one. Another technique of data mining. Anomaly detection is nothing but we have to find the unusual data records. For example, in a group of girls, if there is a one boy, that boy is the anomaly detection, because he is the one who is different among the girls. So that is what is called anomaly detection. So we have to detect which one is the different from among the group of among the different clusters. So what is that? Anomaly detection. For example, consider the god Krishna. He will be having a 1600 gopikas, right? So he is the one who is the best example for the anomaly detection. So Krishna is the god Krishna is the one, because all the gopikas are girls, so only Krishna is the only one. So that's why that he comes under anomaly detection. So the identification of unusual data records that might be interesting or data errors that require further investigation. For example, let us take an ocean. So in ocean, all the fishes are swimming to the right, but one fish is swimming to the left. So what is the anomaly detection here? This these two fishes which are swimming to the left are the anomaly detection. So we will be we will be finding that it is interesting that we have to make any prediction that why it is moving to the left side rather than moving to the right side. Though this type of analysis is known as anomaly detection. So coming to the another one, that is regression data mining. Regression is nothing but we have to find the least error that for estimating the relation among the data and data sets. So in regression, what we'll be doing will be predicting a function so that it will be dealing with the continuous outcome variable. So that is known as regression. So it is so we'll be modeling a function modeling a function with the least errors, that is for estimating the relations among the data and data sets. We'll be mostly dealing, for example, in regression, we'll be mostly dealing with the continuous outcome variables. So attempts to find a function which models the data with the least error, that is for estimating the relationships among data or data sets. This is called a regression. So let us move to the another data mining technique, that is known as summarization. What is summarization? Summarization is nothing but we have to include all the visualization and reported generated into a one thing. For example, if there is a use data in of 5 to 10 pages, we have to make it in a summarized manner, so we will be getting a glimpse of it. So that is what is called summarization. So before making this video, I also read 5 to 6 blogs to make this video. That is what is called summarization. So I have read lots of data before making this video. After I have made a summarized to explain you what is what. So for example, I have read 5 blogs. So from 5 blocks, I will be taking the 5 blocks information. I will be noting down each and every point. So I will be making a glimpse of the topic so that you can able to understand easily.